What's up, gang? It's what a bittersweet time. We're finishing up another season of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and that means we're finishing up our first season of Angel. Could you believe it? We're already down one of five seasons of Angel. All right. Well, it's Restless and Toshanshu in LA Day here on Buffy's Angels, and Restless is my second favorite episode of Buffy ever. My entire undergraduate thesis is pretty much about this one episode, and I looked it up on Wikipedia this morning, and I am quoted on this episode's Wikipedia page. So
Oh, the second time,
I'm
right?
I at least I don't check every week, but usually it just mentions like this guy really liked it. This one actually had a quote by me.
Oh, right. Last
That
time it
was
was
yeah,
like it was on your list, the top 10 list.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Anyway, let me bring in my co-host. You heard him there, Logan B. Adair, watching for the first time. What's up, Logan?
Not only all the stuff you just said, this is episode number 50 of Buffy's Angels.
Holy shit! What a landmark episode we're doing right now.
Yeah, okay, at least according to my count. I
How
add
can
a
that
little
be accurate?
tag on Patreon.
Oh, because we used to do 2 episodes a week. That's how it's accurate.
Yeah,
Okay.
two Buffys a week. Yeah.
Right. Um, let's bring in our co-host. This is a guest star. All right, we've got a special guest star this week, just like Buffy brought in Seth Green. All right, we're gonna bring in our good friend, Shut Up Tim Holland. What's up?
Hey, hey, I'm here because I requested to be on this episode specifically to make one joke. That's the only reason I came here. So I'm going to make it right now. Um, Dan, are you going to be upset when Logan gives this 1 star because he accidentally watched Restless Redux?
Yep, I knew it was coming.
All right, we'll see you later, Tim.
Bye.
That was a good
Bye.
joke. We'll see you next time.
I don't think it was as good as he thought it was, but
Well,
it
I
was
had
pretty
already
good. It
told
was
Dan the
pretty...
joke on text already, and so I wanted Logan to be more upset, or at
It,
least
Well, I
uh,
expected we would talk about it, obviously.
yeah, yeah. Famously, I Logan was supposed to watch Apocalypse Now a few months ago and watched Apocalypse Now Redux and then complained about it.
I
Ne-
literally didn't. I just gave my honest opinion, and then you guys ran with that as a complaint.
well, you gave your honest opinion about a movie that isn't the movie you were supposed to watch.
yeah, you
Um,
like 3 starred it or something, if I remember
No, I did
correctly.
not.
I think he gave it a 4. But anyway, I need Tim to be on his best behavior today because this is genuinely one of the most important pieces of art to me.
Well, I mean, this is one of the best, if not the best episode of Buffy, and
Yeah, part of me wants to just go ahead and say it's my favorite,
I,
but
I like I've said, I love Buffy a lot, and this is always been one of my favorites to go back and rewatch. It's just a fun, unique way to end the season too, where Adam is killed in the last episode, which is weird,
yeah.
and then they're like, okay, well, let's have Joss is having fun out here, being like, let's do a dream episode, and
But
in true
more than
Buffy
a dream,
fashion.
yeah, more than a dream. Sorry, finish your sentence. I'm sorry, I'm an
In true Buffy
interrupter.
fashion, they nail it. That was I just was
Oh,
gonna say
very
2 more
good.
words. They nailed it.
Yeah, I just think it's more than just a dream episode. I remember watching this the first time when it aired and being somewhat put off by it, like enjoying it, but I'm so used to the big epic action finale after becoming part 2 and graduation day part 2 that I was almost a tad put off by this. They
Well,
didn't call Yoko Factor and Primeval part 1 and 2. So in my mind, I'm expecting Primeval part 2 or something, and I
yeah.
get this weird thing. Um, but I mean, obviously, it grew on me and mesmerized me, and it's one of the episodes I've revisited the most. And I mean, I've talked about that paper that I wrote at the end of college a million times, but this is literally like half of the paper was this episode.
Well,
Um, I
I think it's interesting that it grew on you, Dan, because I think we have a good test here. I know you and I were going to talk how much we love this, but Logan really hasn't weighed in, and this is his first time. And he is a noted metaphor hater, and this is
That's a
nothing
good
but
point.
metaphors.
It's true. But to me, I think there will be a lot to discuss here with Logan. And I love that this is just about halfway through the series because it's a perfect encapsulation of everything that came before, who these people are right now, and what is going to come in the next 3 seasons.
I didn't understand a lot of it, but I guess we'll get into it. And I'll need you to tell me why this is so great, I think.
Ooh, didn't like it. Must have watched the Redux.
I guess we'll find out. But yeah, I wasn't as into it as you guys, I guess. But I guess
That's
we'll get into
fine.
it, okay?
Yeah. All right, so this is May 23rd, 2000, the date of these two finales. And it was also the same night as the season finale of Third Rock from the Sun, Tim, and that of course featured a guest starring appearance by William Shatner as their boss, the Big Giant Head.
All hail the big giant head.
Very good.
I just did
I
the hand gesture that ends with your hand on top of your head.
Yeah, I only took that note because you were gonna be on today. I
Excellent.
knew Logan
Uh,
wouldn't give a shit.
you know what was interesting about Third Rock from the Sun was John Lithgow won like the Emmy, I think, or was it the Golden Globe?
I
He
think
won an
both.
award.
I'm pretty
He
sure
won.
both.
He won it like 4 times in a row, and he gave pretty much the exact same speech every time, where he did that salute in his
Really?
Emmy speech. Yeah, it would always like I was always like, oh, he's really committed to this character. And I would say Third Rock from the Sun, largely forgotten media. You never hear anybody waxing
And I
online
and
about
I
how
think
it's awesome.
I think it's crazy because it's created by the same folks that did that 70s show. And you hear about that all the time. And to me, thematically and tonally, they're super similar.
Yeah, and I think that like all the characters are really fun. Like French Stewart's character is really good, and
And it has
JGL
JGL who became like a big star. So like you'd
and
think people would want to go back and watch him as a kid.
underreported Wayne Knight is really funny as the woman
That's
what's her
right. People
as
don't remember
boyfriend.
that he was a regular on that show for a long
I'm
time.
I'm pretty sure he's a mailman in that one too.
He is.
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff. Oh yeah, he dated the what,
Uh,
Sally?
Sally, yep.
Yeah. Okay. What a day. What a day. Okay. The number one song in America, still Maria Maria by Santana. No one's stopping Santana in the year 2000. But some people are aiming to try because what a week for new album releases. May 23rd, 2000 saw the release of two of the best hip hop albums ever recorded. Okay. Deltron 3030 by Del the Funky Homo Sapien. Okay. But more popularly, the Marshall Mathers LP. Eminem's second album came out the same day as Restless.
Didn't we just have
Ooh,
Oops, I
hey,
Did It
look,
Again? That didn't make any noise?
It didn't top Santana.
That's crazy.
I mean, it sold like
uh
10 million records or something in its first week, but Marshall Mathers LP, come on, that had Real Slim Shady. It had
si-
the Stan. It had The Way I Am. So many greats.
Yeah.
uh can you since you
Back. You like that
mentioned
one?
That's not
yeah,
on that album.
Oh, okay. Okay.
since you mentioned Slim Shady, Logan, can you do the Forgot About Dre rap?
Nowadays, everybody wants to talk like I'm the same. Nothing comes out. Forgot about Drake.
All right, now that Logan's done whiny Eminem, can I give you angry Eminem?
Go for it.
I'm so
Uh,
sick and tired of being admired that sometimes I wish I would die. You'll get fired.
Guess that's why they call it window pane.
That's his best line ever. Okay. Also, on the rock side that week, the first album by A Perfect Circle, a side project of the guy from Tool, which I owned on CD, and the second album by Matchbox 20. Okay. The biggest hit
Wow.
there was Can You Help Me? I'm bent. I'm so scared that I'll never get put back together. Remember that classic?
Of course.
Your impression is Adam Sandler singing.
Well, that's what Rob Thomas sounds like to me. All right. What about movies? What do you think is going on in the world of movies? We got a new number one at the box
X-Men.
office. No,
I don't know.
Although I did see X-Men 4 times in theaters that summer. It was the most
Wow,
times I'd
is that a
ever been.
record? How
That
many
was
movies
my
have you seen 4 times in
never.
theaters?
I would later match that record once or twice, but never beat it.
What matched it?
I wish I could remember.
Dark Knight or something?
No, it wouldn't have been a superhero movie.
Okay.
The number one movie in America, debuting at number one, is Disney's Dinosaur.
Okay.
Oh my God. Horrible.
Yeah. But remember the trailers? It looked good.
It looked amazing, and I have to
Yeah.
say, I have shown my kids that, and it's no one ever makes it all the way through. I don't think any
No,
of my 3 kids have seen the end of that movie.
the movie is so boring. But like the trailer for it was basically just like an animation reel showing like how the dinosaurs looked and how the landscape looked. And I remember at the time it was amazing.
Yeah, it was mind blowing. I remember also at this point, I believe Oprah had the dinosaurs on and interviewed them on the Oprah show.
What are you talking about? The dinosaurs from Dinosaur?
Yes,
the CGI ones? Like it would
Yes.
make sense if she maybe interviewed the dinosaurs from the show Dinosaurs.
Well, they're
They
dead.
have like they can
Not the
speak
mama.
English and they have opinions and stuff.
And
But-
they're physical beings, right? They're costumes, right? At least.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I know
The
Oprah
guy named
had-
Earl in a flannel shirt.
Oprah did interview the Ninja Turtles at one point.
I'm very aware of that. She asked
Yes.
them all about their sex lives.
Yes, but I'm fairly certain there's shots of Oprah sitting next to the Carnosaur or whatever
my
the main,
God.
the
The
main
Carnosaur
bad-
from the movie Carnosaur?
No, the Carnosaur was the bad guy in Dinosaur as well.
God damn
So yeah,
Man, do you think she ever interviewed the little ones from Prehysteria?
the tiny dinos.
Yeah.
I honestly, I believe if you go back and look, they're on the couch when Tom Cruise is jumping on the couch, and he crushes.
He
them.
bounces they bounce up when he
Yeah.
jumps.
Mhm.
All right. Number 2, Gladiator, returning from it's been in there a couple weeks now, and then debuting at number 3, a movie I saw in theaters, Road Trip.
Wow. We'll get to cover that, right?
Yeah, there's Road Trip 2, beer pong. And coming in at number 7, Woody Allen's Small Time Crooks.
Oh,
All right.
it's a crook eating a cookie on the cover.
You're not
And,
wrong.
John Lovett's in it.
What happens to that? They open up a cookie store like next to a bank or something.
Yeah, and then
they're
they
trying to-
like do a hole under the buildings to
right,
get
but
into
then the
bank.
cookie store gets really successful. Isn't that
Yeah,
right?
of course. That's a
Yeah.
true Woody Allen there. It's like, oh, we don't even need to rob the bank. We got these cookies that are delicious.
Yeah. All right, one more thing. This great week in American history, we saw the debut. All right, Judgment Day 2000. So pay-per-view happened. The main
Wrestling
event
pay-per-view?
was
Oh.
the main event was The Rock versus Triple H in an Iron Man match, but it was interrupted by an old favorite with a new look. All right, I'm talking about the debut of American Badass Undertaker, baby.
Wow.
I am America Badass. Radio edit. Am I right?
Was Joe C there? The C
Joe
stands
C
for
might have
cool?
been in the crowd. Yeah. The name's the C stood for cool.
Yeah. My
I
name's
don't
Joe
think I
C.
ever-
The C stands for cool. And if you mess with me, you might be a fool. That was one of his raps.
Wow.
That is very funny. I don't remember that.
Mhm.
All right. So that's all I got for the week. This episode of Buffy was written and directed by Joss Whedon.
Really? I
Um,
couldn't have told you that. I'm watching
He had his appendix out, and he supposedly wrote this episode in his hospital bed on painkillers, and it feels that way.
Yeah.
And and here it is. This is it. Let's take the notes slowly, Logan.
Slowly,
Well,
okay.
before he starts, can I just say, Joss was like, our show doesn't have enough lesbians in lingerie content. Let's put it in all in one episode. A lot of this.
Yep.
Loved it.
And Harmony's
Uh,
back, so it's a Joss episode.
I also thought about something else. This is the final appearance of the actress who plays Olivia. Olivia is only in
Oh
3
my God.
episodes, and she's in the premiere of season 4, then Hush, then Restless. All 3 of her
Oh
episodes
no.
are written and directed by Joss Whedon.
Wow, they must have broken up after this episode. That's why she's not in any other episode.
Yeah, maybe between seasons 4 and 5, something happened.
I think that has to
Yeah.
be.
I'll tell you what happened.
The
Joss Whedon
case.
met Michelle Trachtenberg.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, I knew that she was on Buffy.
Dan, I have to say, I'm pretty dumb never to think about. I've never thought about that until the second. Like,
Really? Because
obviously.
it came out that apparently there was a rule on the set of Buffy that Joss Whedon couldn't be alone in a room with Michelle Trachtenberg.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know how that
Amazing.
I don't know how that they came up with that rule, but I assume something must have happened to warrant it.
That is crazy.
Yeah. All right, Logan, let's hear the notes.
All right. Well, again, right after last episode, just like the last episode was right after the episode before that, right? We're just going right
Yeah.
into the other one.
How does it start though?
How we're watching a movie. We're gonna watch some flicks.
But what weird thing
Log into
happens?
Ross Flicks.
What weird thing happens before even that happens?
Oh, I know.
What happened? Tell me.
Joyce is
No,
there.
no, both of you are totally wrong.
What
No,
happened?
this is the only episode of Buffy without a cold open. It starts with the previously, goes straight into the theme song, and then the episode. Joss Whedon did not want to interrupt this episode with anything.
Except commercials because it aired on
Well,
television.
he's forced to. He's forced to do that. Yeah.
He could have said no. He could have said, "I'm wealthy enough at this point. We're doing no commercials. I'll pay for the."
He didn't have that kind of
in.
he didn't have that kind of power at WB. I feel like
Ye-
maybe there's one episode in season 6. Tim will know the one I'm talking about that I think
Uh,
aired without commercials or limited
Wow,
commercials. Yeah.
that's cool.
yeah, I think that one has a very famous monster in it, right? Dan, if I'm thinking of the right one. Isn't that season 7 though?
You're
Famous
not thinking of the right
monster.
episode at all. No.
Okay.
I thought
All
you'd
right.
get it immediately. Um,
6.
it's like your favorite episode of the show.
Oh, that
The
one
body?
clearly. No, that one clearly has a like commercial break moments
Okay,
in
but
it.
I'm pretty sure like it aired like it was
Yeah.
it went for like an hour 10 minutes or something
Cool.
and had limited commercial breaks or something. Anyway, let's talk about this. Let's start off, Logan.
Okay, so we sit down to watch a movie. Xander suggests Apocalypse Now, his favorite film.
Yeah. Joyce, by the way, meeting Riley for the first time. You skipped
Yeah, I
over
thought that was kind of crazy. She was like, "Oh, it's good to meet you." I was like, "What?" I feel like we missed a whole thing I would have liked to see there. I wanted to see them meet for the first time.
Well, I like how, she goes, you notice how pointed I said, "Nice to meet you, Riley." And Buffy's
Yeah.
like, "No."
Yeah, I caught that line, and I feel like it was trying to make up for it there, but I felt I felt a little robbed in that moment. I was like, "Oh, that sucked," but whatever.
Well, wait,
So,
you wanted an episode where Joyce is like, "Nice to meet you, Riley. Here's some of my masks I have at the art store," and then a monster shows up, and then they have to defeat it or something.
no, but
That
I think it
would've
would
been-
have made sense
And
for
then they're
Riley,
bonded by the end.
Yeah.
for Riley's character to be like a little nervous to meet Buffy's mom. I feel like that would have been like a fun little moment.
I think
Nervous to meet the mom.
I think Faith should have switched bodies with Joyce, and then Joyce could have fucked Riley, and then
That's
that
great.
would have been good.
That 100% should have happened. You're right. Faith is just in jail still.
Yeah.
She turned herself in. She's in jail.
Yeah, we'll see her on an episode of Angel at one point, just in like a cameo with Angel visiting her in prison. So, like, she's in prison.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I thought.
I was actually surprised that no Faith in this episode, because we could have had a dream Faith at some point.
Spoiler alert, I thought
the
Darla was going to be Faith at the end.
Cordelia, Angel, and Faith were all supposed to be in this episode, and there were just complications with scheduling due to the other show for doing its finale and shit. Cordelia was supposed to be in the classroom making fun of Willow during her dream sequence. Um, Angel was supposed to be the voice of the first Slayer instead of Tara, and Faith was supposed to be in the. It was supposed to complete the trilogy of making the bed dreams with Buffy.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the
But-
only one that I needed is I feel like the Faith one would have been cool.
Okay.
I don't even understand what the bed thing is totally, but that would have been
Well, I
nice.
can't really explain it until
Yeah.
the thing it's foreshadowing happens.
Right. So we
Yeah.
we all fall asleep, right? Watching Apocalypse Now.
Yeah. As you did.
Yeah,
I did not fall asleep.
Logan, did you like that they're all so amped and they're eating popcorn and they're like, we're gonna watch movies all night long, and then cut to and a classic sitcom type of thing. They're all asleep instantly. Did you like that?
What do you mean? Yeah, I like that.
Well, they said they were all amped and excited. They were gonna stay up watching movies, and then we see the FBI warning label on the VHS.
Yeah, I was
and
like that.
yeah, that was
Pulls up the
cool.
whole screen.
Yeah,
I
and
should
then
have
it
said
cut.
you wouldn't steal from a thing. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that's a DVD
They should have
thing,
just
though,
played that
Logan.
thing.
Oh yeah.
I love
You
that
wouldn't you wouldn't pirate your hairstyle.
Yeah.
thing.
Pew 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 pew. I feel like that starts with like a really intense
Yeah.
bunch of words jumping out at you and shit.
Mhm.
Anyway.
All right, so we all fall asleep, and then we go to Willow has her first dream, right?
Well, they all have one. Yeah.
Well, Willow's first to dream. Sorry.
Yes.
And Tara, topless, laying down, getting painted on her back. That's
Mhm.
great.
What Willow's painting on her back is a poem by the ancient Greek lesbian poet Sappho of Lesbos. It's apparently one of the earliest known pieces of art that is directly about homosexuality.
All right, that's cool. So
Yeah.
shout out to Joss there.
How cool do you
Cool.
think Joss thinks he is? Like, on his
Yeah, I feel the same
infinite,
way.
like,
I don't think he thinks he's cool at all.
no.
I think he thinks he's
Well, now
a
he
total
does.
nerd, and he realized he had power during this time in his life for him to like be the type of person he always thought he wanted to be. I think it's a real like fucking weird incel nerd dream that he was experiencing.
Yeah.
But I also think he's an incredibly smart guy with a lot of arcane knowledge at his feet. And
Totally. Yeah.
yeah,
For sure.
it's okay to use that in art. Not
Yeah.
everything has to be stupid.
I agree. I'm just saying, like, this is a little bit of like smelling your own farts and liking the smell, I think. Just a tiny bit there.
Okay, but I mean, it's also very
Daniel
interesting.
likes the smell.
I agree. I'm not saying it's
I-
not.
I think it's there. Like, if you can ignore it if you want. Like, if you're dumb, like Logan, you can watch it and be like, oh, it's a topless girl. But if like people down the line really want to like read into this episode, like there's stuff going on underneath the surface in almost every shot.
I had no idea. Obviously, you know all the research. I didn't know that about the Greek poem. I didn't do that much research, but it always did remind me of. I couldn't figure out what movie it was, but there was a whole movie about Japanese art where they were painting onto a woman, like calligraphy. Have you ever seen that, Dan? Does that ring any bells?
It kind of does, to be honest.
I totally watched it in film school, and I couldn't, even Googling it, I couldn't find it. But I know, I was like, oh, I wonder if this movie came out around this time. That's what inspired it also.
Could be.
because it
I mean,
feels a
clearly he's
lot
into
like
the
that.
Matrix.
Yeah, no, yeah, well, and yeah, Apocalypse Now is such a moment of the movie, or this episode as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so
All right,
so
Logan,
Willow.
continue. I'm sorry I called you dumb. I didn't mean that. I just meant like I
No,
meant
you meant
like
it. It's okay.
surface.
I
I meant
get it.
surface.
No, it's fine. So Willow is
Come on,
going to be in a
don't make me feel
play,
bad.
right? Death of a
Yes.
salesman, but
Yeah.
Riley is like a cowboy guy. Pretty cool. I don't
Yeah.
know, whatever. Harmony's there because Joss made this episode. Harmony looking great. I actually believe this is Harmony looks great.
Okay. Wow.
Her best look so far.
What pigtails? You're into that?
Oh, I didn't even notice that. I just think
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought she looked really great.
Yeah,
Can't
so
pinpoint it.
it's been well established in the series that Willow has stage fright. There was discussion at the beginning of the season of her taking drama classes in college when they were going through the course schedule, so that's why that's on her brain. She also references that she has a problem with Madame Butterfly, which you'll recall is what she's shown singing on stage in episode 10 of season 1, Nightmares, which is a previous dream episode of Buffy.
Hmm.
Isn't Madame Butterfly also a gay related story? Or am
Uh,
I thinking of is Madame Butterfly doesn't
well,
it
M
isn't
Butterfly
the
is for sure.
Oh, okay, there's that's different. I've always just wondered. I wasn't sure if those were the same things.
No.
Yeah, okay, I the M Butterfly. Never mind.
We see the guy with cheese slices. What does that have to do with anything? It's
It
just funny.
doesn't. Joss Whedon said that he feels like there's always one element of dreams that are just completely out of left field and random. So
Yeah,
he
that makes
said
sense.
that every single thing in this episode means something except for the cheese guy.
All right,
JK,
I like
he's the new big bad for season 5.
it.
Logan, get ready for the cheese apocalypse.
Dude, I remember at the time reading so many like analyses of this episode that are like trying to come up with a meaning for the cheese guy, and then Joss Whedon just admitted it was meaningless, and I thought it was funny.
No, it's
I mean, I think it's clearly that's what he's going for. Is that this was random, and they all experience the random thing because it's that random. But that's funny.
Yeah, it's the
Um,
joke. It's there for the joke at the end. And I gotta say, the cheese guy is a delight every single time.
I
Like
agree.
when the very last one, when he just like goes into the frame and comes out, it's so funny.
And
yeah.
I wear the cheese, it does not wear me. I
Yes,
always find
yeah.
very funny too.
And then so Tara's like, Willow, they all know who your secret. They all know who you are. And then like that scary demon creature comes out. We don't really know what it is at this point, but it's
Right.
revealed later to be the Slayer, the
The
original
first
Slayer.
Slayer, yeah.
But all right. Oh, and she goes to class and she sees Oz and Tara and everybody.
Yeah, she's
Anything
walking
else?
through that curtain hall, which is, meant to be very vaginal. And then she's in the classroom. Buffy insists she's wearing a costume. I think this comes down to like Willow still sees herself as she was when we met her in season 1,
Mhm.
even though she's gone through all these transformations. In fact, when Buffy rips her clothes off and reveals like she's wearing the exact same dress and with the exact same hairdo that she has when we meet her in Welcome to the Hellmouth.
Hmm.
I,
Yeah, okay. I was wondering
yeah,
what that was.
in
that's
that
really
in the
great.
pilot when
Yeah,
Cordelia says, Willow, good to know you've seen the softer side of Sears. That's the
yeah,
exact dress that she's wearing.
yeah.
Okay.
I did want to go back for a tiny second. I was wondering the curtains of they're on the stage. The curtains are red and they fill the screen. Really did make me remind me of Twin Peaks.
Yeah,
The
absolutely.
red room, obviously. And then we also get a moment here where is this or is Oz and Xander talking about jacking off this part or later on? I can't remember.
This was earlier in
Okay.
the hallway. She runs into them.
Yes.
And yeah, Xander says sometimes I think about two witches doing a spell, and then I go do a spell by myself.
So good.
I
I didn't
agree.
really laugh at that. I don't know. But
Whoa. Mm.
it felt weird. Because
Why? You never do a spell, Logan?
because was he I don't know. That seems like a line that you'd say, and then the person next to you understands that that's like that means something else, but you didn't understand. But he clearly didn't mean was doing spells. He clearly meant masturbation. So what's the joke? He's just saying the thing.
It's in the dream. They're weirder, right?
I don't know. I don't know. I didn't really
And
get it.
it's Willow's dream,
Logan
so
is
it's
from
horny
Logan comes.
Xander.
Logan comes to us from a generation that is completely sexless. You're not allowed to talk about sex.
I just didn't understand the joke, but I don't know. But
You also have to remember that it's a characterization of Xander in Willow's mind, right? Like,
Yeah.
so Xander is the horny guy, right? Like, he's always having sex with Anya, and she's thinking about Xander jacking
And
off.
she's exactly right, because Willow in Xander's brain was like this like sex goddess.
I'm allowed to not like something. Okay. All right.
Yeah, we're not saying you're not.
So
Just
if I couldn't like Giles anymore, okay, we go to Xander's dream, and Giles says,
oh wait,
"Apocalypse
we're
Now is overrated."
oh
Yeah,
my
but
god.
it's the kind of thing where you ever have a dream where you're watching a movie that you've seen in real life and like it's a movie you think is really good, but because your brain can't just translate a movie into
I
your
just thought that was
subconscious.
funny.
Okay, but I'm explaining it.
Okay, but you don't have to explain it to me.
Um,
You asked me to explain the episode to you.
I just wanted to say that because that would be a funny way to set it up. Me and Giles bond over Apocalypse Now being bad. I didn't mean he actually thought it was bad.
Okay. I'm
well, hey guys, hold on.
Just like I didn't think the
Pause.
only meaning to the Terra being topless thing was that she was topless. I just thought that was a funny way to set it up.
Uh, hey, here's my question about going into this and why is Xander Apocalypse Now, especially with so much military stuff in this season? We know one of the storylines is Xander considering going into the army, but like, why do you think they chose like Heart of Darkness and Apocalypse Now to represent this, Dan?
Well, because I think Xander feels like he's on his own and he's lost his friends. His whole dream is about not wanting to lose his friends, you know? So like he feels almost like he's in the wilderness, you know?
Hmm.
I guess that's why. And also, I mean, he has the military dream, not dream, but the costume thing from Halloween back in season 2. So he still has all
Oh.
that military shit in his brain. It might be affecting his dreams.
Mhm.
And back to Logan's point about bonding with Giles, saying that Apocalypse Now is overrated. They are also not watching Apocalypse Now. It's some weird version. They could be watching the Redux there, Logan, and that's why Giles thinks it's overrated.
Yeah, they should have had the scene though where they spend 45 minutes at that compound. Then we would have known it's the Redux.
It's just
Anyway,
some guy walking on a green screen background. Is that somebody, Dan? I was hoping you.
No, it's meant to be like a
it's what
like
he was
this
talking about
isn't what
earlier.
Apocalypse. Yeah, it's what I was talking about earlier.
Well,
How it's
well,
like
I
your
was just
dream
no, I
memory
meant like,
version of
is
it.
that an actor of note or anybody from the show that I should know?
No, not really. No.
Okay, all right.
That would have been cool though if it was Adam. We didn't realize. They
Oh
could
yeah.
easily put that actor in there.
No, they should have had
He's in,
the
he's in this episode. Did you notice him?
yeah,
Absolutely. Not
Okay.
until they really brought it up though.
yeah.
But you did tell me he was coming up.
Yeah.
They no, but they should have had that's where Jonathan should have been, or they could have had the who's the gay guy from high school,
That's a good call.
Larry.
No,
Jock
Jonathan.
Larry. Yeah,
That's weird a little bit. But anyway. So Xander, he has to go to the bathroom,
Could have
right?
been Amy.
Oh yeah.
oh, it
What the
should have been
hell?
Amy.
We never
A
saw
rat.
Amy again this season.
There's no rats in this episode. So
I just
weird.
know what happened.
She's still a rat.
Joss probably broke up with her. That's
No,
what
we'll
she's.
see her again. Come on.
No, I mean, yeah, later on when he's not as involved in the show.
Oh, come now.
So Xander goes to the bathroom upstairs, runs into Joyce, aka Buffy's mom. He keeps calling her this episode to try to separate her being a human a little bit. That's great. And she sort of comes on to him. She flirts with him, invites him into her room.
I like that some shots where she's talking, her mouth doesn't move.
Interesting.
Yeah.
He says at one point, "I'm a conquistador," And I'm like, what? You're the wrestling
I
duo that
thought
just
I thought about
debuted
them
at
too.
Survivor Series 1988? That's crazy.
Yeah. It's also a
But
comfortador.
Confortador, that was funny. And he goes to the bathroom. We see
Well, he says he goes to look for the bathroom, and this is the first time Joy says to him, "Don't get lost." That's like what's being hammered home to him the entire dream.
yeah, and he finds a bathroom, but it's full of like doctors and military folk, and they're like, "Hey," and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna leave this bathroom." So he
Yeah.
leaves, and then he goes to a playground where Spike
Well,
and Giles are best
first, not
friends.
yet, not yet.
Oh,
First, he
okay.
goes back to the basement.
Oh,
Everywhere
right.
he is when he tries
Leads
to
to the
leave,
basement.
it ends up he's back in his parents'
Can't
basement.
escape.
And he even like you hear someone trying to get into the basement through like the door that leads to whatever it is, the kitchen or whatever. And he looks at the door and he says, "That's not the way out."
Yeah, and then later we see his freaking father come down.
Yeah, who's played by the warden of the prison in Orange is the New Black. But then we
The Gay
see
Show. Shout out to the
I
Gay Show.
guess.
Orange is the New Black.
But then we see his dad later, and it's not the same actor. But he's in shadow in this, so you don't even notice. But it's weird that it's a known actor.
You could see him. You could see his face, I think.
Sort of. Oh, we lost him.
No,
No,
he's
I'm
still
here.
here. But so now we go to the playground.
Um,
Spike's gonna be a watcher. Giles is gonna
What?
train Spike.
Watcher scoffs at gravity.
yeah, this whole scene is setting up an episode in season 6, but I can't really talk about that
Yeah,
yet.
amazing. Hey, well, is it setting up or is season 6 based off of this? Dan is what I've always wondered. It's like people
N-
are like, we got
I think
lightning
probably
in a
that.
bottle here.
I think there's a couple of moments in season 6 that are doing this, but this is at the point where Whedon pretty much has the rest of the show locked in.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was always curious about that, and I always wondered that like this scene in the park always felt like Xander's jealous because like why isn't Giles training him to be a watcher? But we know
Mm.
Xander's not smart, right? Like
But
not enough to be a watcher.
I think it's more that Xander feels completely disconnected from the group. We're even folding in Spike now. Like even
Yeah.
Spike has stuff to do in the group and he doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Um
tough.
there's also the moment in that where Buffy says, "I'm way ahead of you, big brother." And that's or I'm way something like that. And that's double big because everybody keeps telling him that they're way ahead of him, meaning in life.
Mm-hmm.
And also, she refers to him as brother, and he looks taken aback by that. And I feel like that is, for the last time, just erasing any idea that Xander and Buffy are a romantic thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
I think
been
we're past that.
Yeah.
yeah, he's beyond friend zoned. He's a family member to her.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's your family zone? There's definitely no coming out of that one.
Which I think once you have melded your spirit with a person in the way that they did with this spell, like it kind of would be weird to be sexually attracted any of these characters to be sexually attracted to any of them.
I could turn on that switch anytime. I could have a girl, honestly, like I could have a girl who's a friend for decades, never think about sleeping with them once, and then they could be like, "You want to fuck?" I'd be like, "All right."
All right, I guess so.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he sees himself in the ice cream truck from when he had that ice cream job. I don't think he has it anymore, does he? Or does he? I don't know.
No, I don't think he does. But
But
yeah, Anya's in there.
he and Anya,
She starts off by saying, "I think this is going to be a very big year for vengeance."
yeah, she wants to go back to it. Yeah, she's talking about going back to being a vengeance demon. And I want to say this is the worst green screen effect we've ever seen on Buffy,
It's
right?
supposed to be. It's supposed
Yeah,
to be.
it's
Oh,
intentional.
okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess it makes sense.
She's
But
gesturing and she's moving the truck
Yeah.
with wild gestures.
Yeah,
not
I
just
love
her
when she
though. Like
pointed that
like
out.
I thought Willow and on and
No, but she points that out, Logan. At one point, she says, "I'll continue driving with wild gesturing," because she's like over driving, right? Like it's not no one drives like that, and that's the point of the dream.
Mhm.
yeah. And so he goes to go kiss Willow and Tara, right?
Is that
And
what
he ends up
you have a very chaste imagination.
he sees them in the back and he goes to kiss them and then he ends up in the basement.
He's gonna kiss him.
It's
I
exactly
I
what happened.
love I love this part where they're like, oh, "We're gonna have a lesbian kiss on this show," and then they
But
cut,
it's
and it's
totally on
just all
screen.
Xander. Yeah, it's all Xander, and it's a long time too, which is really funny. It's like over like the amount that It's like, wow, they're really doing it. It's allowing our minds to imagine what they're doing.
Yeah.
And then he gets led Apocalypse Now style to this place. And who do we find?
I mean, you're skipping a lot.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What, the monster chases him?
No, I mean, he ends up in the basement again, and then there's the sequence where they're back at the school, and it's shot in this crazy like green and purple lighting. You know what I'm
Yeah,
talking
they
about?
start speaking French to him.
Right. And Giles says to him, the others have gone on ahead. Another just, you've been left behind by everybody thing. Um, and Giles's French dialogue is dubbed by Joss Whedon's assistant, Diego
Oh,
Gutierrez, who apparently spoke French. He will later write a very good episode of Buffy.
oh, that's cool.
Mm.
Hmm.
You gonna say what episode?
Season 6, episode 17. It's called Normal Again.
Ooh, that is a good episode.
Yeah.
All right. So we meet Principal Snyder.
Yeah, he's back. He's Colonel Kurtz.
Yeah. And I thought he was great. Really went
Yeah,
for it.
he is great. And I read today, I'd never known this before, that apparently Armin Shimmerman had never seen Apocalypse Now
What?
and watched it just for this episode.
That's
And he
amazing.
hated it because he watched Redux instead.
I imagine so. That's awesome though.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he's a great Brando. They really just nail this. It's such a fun, and this is like the era too where we're still pre DVDs, correct? In this era, 2000, are we in the era of DVDs? I can't remember, but
I think I bought season 1 of Buffy right when it came out, and it was mid season 5. So we're like right on the
yeah,
cusp. Yeah.
yeah, um, yeah. And I watched all of Buffy on DVD box sets, and got the one episode I watched live was season 7, the premiere of season 7. So that's where I
Really?
was at. Yes, yeah. I didn't watch Buffy live until season 7.
Wow.
Yeah. And then I was so like used to just binging them on all boxes. I didn't watch season 7. I was just like, I'll just wait for the box set.
I
And
get it.
that's what I did. So I couldn't handle week to week. So yeah, that's how you live your life, Dan. You watch everything on a binge now.
Yeah, it's a good move.
Yeah.
So Xander's father comes down. Does he have a name?
Mr. Harris.
Mr. Harris comes down. Um, by the way, I had the thought yesterday when I was watching Man on the Moon. Xander is a little Jim Carrey-ish, right?
Yeah, I think everybody who was an actor trying to go for comedy in the late 90s was a little Jim Carrey-ish.
That's how people talk back then.
He
Yeah.
Snarky
looks
and,
like
and
him,
a
I think,
lot
a
of
little bit.
references. That was a
Yeah,
lot of pop culture.
he's very Jim Carrey, and I think he's very Matthew Perry.
Jim Carrey and Matthew Perry. All right,
Yeah.
I can, and Matthew Broderick. I don't know.
Hey, Dan, do you think Xander's mom ever went to Paris?
You mean, did Mrs. Harris go to Paris?
Yeah, I was wondering that.
Yeah.
Is that part of the Buffy verse?
I would argue she definitely didn't. This seems like a family that does nothing.
We never met her, did we, Mrs. Harris? We only met Mrs. Rosenberg.
I think we're gonna meet the whole Xander clan at some point, but not yet. No.
Okay, that's fun. All right, so that is that Xander's dream?
Gets stabbed in the heart.
How does it
Oh yeah,
end?
oh yeah, he
Oh,
gets attacked
well,
and stabbed by that.
one thing I like is it ends with him like running away from the Slayer or whatever, and he's running um he runs like into like Buffy's dorm room's closet, and then that leads him to like the cemetery. Like all, I don't know how it is, or like it leads him to Giles's house, but they shot it where like it's just where the sets were. Like he just
Yeah.
ran from set to set
That's
in the
awesome.
order of where they were placed. I thought that's really cool. And yeah, and then he's grabbed through the heart. Now, in Primeval, we saw them do the spell, right? And it starts with Willow going like Spiritus, the spirit, okay? And then Xander goes like Heartus, the heart. And
Oh
and
yeah,
then Giles
brain.
goes like Brainy, the brain.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then and Buffy's Manos, the hand. And you'll see the dreams go in the order of how they did that spell and
And they're
where
dying that same
yeah,
way.
exactly. Where the first Slayer attacks them is through whatever they represented. So she sucks out Willow's spirit, she grabs Xander's heart, and she cuts Giles through the scalp where his brain is.
Is that why in the puppet show the guy was trying to get out Giles's brain? Because he knew that we were leading to this moment where Giles was going to be the
Oh
brain
yeah.
of the group.
No, he already had Restless completely planned when they filmed Puppet Show.
That's awesome. He's
No,
really
I'm
smarter
actually
than I
Uh,
joking
thought.
about
I
that.
I'm surprised the puppet guy didn't show up in the dream.
That
He
would be
should have.
great.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
only shows up in the video game.
Made a sweet wood
Really?
pun. Yeah, I told you
Yeah.
that. You can play as the puppet in the Buffy video
What's his
game.
name again, the puppet?
Sid.
Sid. Sid should have popped back up in this episode. Or Jenny Calendar. Where's Jenny Calendar?
I
Anytime we
read
can get
I
Jenny Calendar, we should do it.
I read that in at least one version of the script, Jenny Calendar was pushing the baby carriage in Giles's dream, and
Wow.
maybe they couldn't get the actor or something.
That would have been cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would have been awesome. So
You
there's
know who
Xander's
was you know who really should have been in the dream? Where was Forrest? Not enough Forrest in this episode.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, the episode mostly takes place in the desert.
Yeah. Good call. That would have been
Yeah.
crazy though. We kill Forrest and then bring him back 2 times after he's dead. That would have been wild. Wild decision. We still
Graham's
may do it.
name's
Who knows?
Graham's name should be Desert.
Yeah, what happened to Graham? He's still alive, isn't he?
We'll see Graham again.
He
Yes.
got hurt, but he lived that one time.
Yeah.
So Giles's dream time, right?
Yeah.
We go to a Slayer carnival, we call it.
Well,
This was
first
fun.
it's that cute shot of the stopwatch and then Buffy laughing and stuff. I
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
he like yeah, why is he doing that? He's trying to like what's that called?
Well, he still sees her hypnotizer. He still
Hypnotize.
sees her as his sort of ward. Like she's a kid basically in his dream.
Yeah, she is a
Uh,
little kid.
I mean, she's his daughter in this dream,
Yeah,
and that's like
absolutely.
that's how he's their father figure. I
Yeah.
mean, obviously. So
Yeah. And Spike is at the carnival. He charges people for photos. He lets them take pictures of him.
Yeah, first Buffy sees a little wooden vampire going
Oh
back and
yeah.
forth, and it's going, "I am a vampire,"
She
and
plays the game where she kills it.
that's Joss Whedon doing the voice of that thing.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, just the voice. Joss Whedon never makes a on-screen appearance on Buffy.
he does on Angel
Really?
and in Veronica Mars. If you want to watch that,
whoa,
I
yeah,
don't know.
that's a good
Maybe.
show, honestly, Logan. You should
yeah,
watch Veronica Mars.
All I know is that
Um,
Kareem wrote an episode. That's all I really know about that
he
show.
wrote a couple, I think.
Oh wow. And I know that. Anyway. So Giles, there's like a whole big thing where he does a musical number. You mentioned has 2 of 3. This is his third one, I guess, this season.
Yep, yep. This is a song that Joss Whedon wrote himself, called the Exposition Song. And the band on the stage at the Bronze that he's performing with, the piano player is Christoph Beck, who's the composer of all the score of Buffy,
Uh-huh.
and the rest of the band is Four Star Mary, who's the band that did all the music for Dingoes Ate My Baby.
That's really cool.
Yeah,
But we don't see any Dingoes band members here. What's that guy's name?
No, no, no. It's the fake Devin, not the real Devin.
Yeah, no Devin. Yeah.
Yeah.
What so can you rank the three performances of the season then?
Sure, sure. I will go Behind Blue Eyes 1.
How is this not the best one?
This is the worst one, spoiler alert. Then 2, Freebird, then this third one.
I don't know where you're at with Buffy. Are you
Really?
enjoying it still?
I think this is my least favorite season.
Ooh, wait till you get to five.
Really.
I think five's better than four.
You think this is
Hmm.
better than 1?
Yeah.
I don't know. It was just so new, so fresh. I really loved it. Not. I mean, not that I don't. I still loved it. But
I think honestly, Logan, I think your big issue is four is a lot of change and it's a lot of split. The core four aren't together as much in season four as they are in the first three.
it's it's less Buffy. Like I feel like we got to the play and Buffy showed up in a wig, and for the first time I was like, Buffy's kind of a side character on this show a little bit. Like she popped up in that moment, and I had that reaction, and maybe that's like a problem with me. I don't know. Don't
It's
really
not a
know.
side character. It's an ensemble.
And Adam is my least favorite villain, as we've talked about.
That's understandable. Look, I do think that season four is a step down from season two and three, but I like it's more a season of standout episodes rather than anything else. To me, this is one of them, but like your mileage may vary. But I mean, it's got Hush and it's got the initiative and it's got the Faith two-parter. It's like if you like the Jonathan one, the Oz arc, like there's little bits and pieces that are great, but I think it doesn't quite come together as consistently. Like my whole thing was season three. Remember we were watching season three, and I said that's my favorite, and you said you preferred season two. I think
Hmm.
you're just always gonna prefer whatever we're not watching. But I it part of that was just the consistency. Remember, I was like, I understand like if you think there are higher highs in season two, but every episode in season three is good. And I
Yeah,
don't I don't think that's the case in season four.
I'm looking at my ranking, and the first 2 episodes of this season are in my top 5 of this season, which I don't think is a great look. Like I feel like we started out really great, and then I didn't really like what we sort of devolved into. It devolved. I don't know. I don't know.
Hmm, it's interesting. I just know watching it, and maybe it was the availability of box sets or whatever, but I basically binged all four seasons in a row, like in a matter of like 2 or 3 weeks. So, um, all kind of blends together. Maybe that's why um, the first four are really such like classic Buffy to me, and
You
then
know what else it
the
is?
last.
Keep going.
I
Sorry.
love I love the other three. It's just five has always been my least favorite for some reason, and I'm happy to revisit this time.
Five is the most serialized. And I think that puts people like episode to episode, it's iffy, but like I think if you go back and watch that season, it lends itself really well to discussion too. So
Yeah.
it should be good for this show.
I think we like set things up and then we like ended them sooner than my liking, maybe. Like with Oz and with the woman, I already forgot her name, Walsh. Like we
Yeah.
had those things set up and then we sort of like quickly abandoned them and moved to more Adam focused.
Well, even the end of this season, though, Logan feels that way, right? Like Adam is defeated in the episode before the
Yeah, and
finale.
then we add on
So that
another
feels
thing on the end.
weird. And now we have this thing, which is really
Not that I
true,
didn't like it.
like mythos. I mean, I think thinking about it, you'll like it way more once you know the full story.
Maybe it felt less concentrated, maybe than the other seasons. To me, I liked the Angel story that we were telling and Jenny Calendar. I just liked all that stuff more. But
Yeah.
anyway, uh, and Riley. I don't think he's been a great boyfriend to Buffy. Not the best. Could be better. But anyway, so the demon attacks Giles and his head starts bleeding. Right. Okay. So Buffy dream
I mean,
time.
look, you skipped the Anya stand-up thing, which I think is funny,
Hmm.
and I think that song's brilliant, kind of. I don't like
Uh, I, I like it too.
anyway, but yeah,
I didn't
I
get this
like
episode as much as you guys. We were like so late, and I was like, oh, now we're doing like a musical number for 5 minutes. Whatever.
it's not a plot episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
It's about, even in Giles's dream when they're watching Apocalypse Now, he says, "Oh, I'm starting to understand it. It's about the journey."
Right.
And that he's referring to this episode.
Right. That doesn't mean I have to like it though.
Yeah.
You don't have to like anything.
I like some things. Anyway, so Buffy's dream, she talks about how there's just like a moment where
Well,
there's a bed and
I wasn't done.
oh, okay.
This is I'm sorry. This is very important to me. It's heartbreaking talking about it in this manner. Um and no, just the part where Giles says he realizes who she is, and he says, "Well, that was obvious." And he goes, "You never had a watcher." I was like that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really cool because I was looking for signs for sure this time that it was the first Slayer.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I mean, it's great that oh yeah, he figures it out as the blood is coming from his
Yeah.
head, right?
Yeah.
So that's a cool shot where it's just his head and drips come down.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. And so Buffy time, anything else from Giles' dream?
No, go ahead.
She talks about that bed she and Faith made. We couldn't get Faith, but we do mention it, I think, right?
Yeah, so in Graduation Day, part two, and this year's Girl, we get dream sequences of Buffy and Faith making a bed, and a clock that says 7:30, and that's all. This is a continuation of that.
You know what's
Yeah.
interesting is until I've listened to Buffy's Angels, I'd never had noticed the bed being a reoccurring thing with Faith and Buffy.
Yeah,
And to be
Buffy.
honest,
Buffy says Faith and I just made that bed in this episode.
yeah, I remember I definitely noticed it this time, but like having watched the series like three full times through at least, never like even put that together, and I'm not even sure what it's foreshadowing if I think about it. Like maybe well, I know I am dumb, but I'm
No,
not
it's
sure.
really complicated and brilliant.
Okay,
Um,
well, you'll
and
have to tell me sometime, or when
I
I'll have to
will. I
wait to
will.
listen to
So
it when you
they
get there.
look at she acknowledges the clock again. She says it's 7:30, and she goes, "It's so late." And Tara tells her that clock is completely wrong,
Wow.
which is also for sure. It's amazing.
So they're early.
Could be.
All
Hmm.
right. And Tara says, did you I swear to God, I'm not just making a wrestling thing to make a wrestling thing, but she says this like the opening of the Edge entrance music. I swear to God, she does. She says, "You think you know what you are. You haven't even
My
begun."
girlfriend said the same thing, and
Okay, good.
and
Okay.
I had the same reaction. Like, fuck,
Okay, good. Thank you.
god damn it, I'm watching this.
Oh. But I swear to God, and then they play it at the end too when she walks by her bedroom and she's like, "You think you know?" And I'm like, "Oh, just fucking say it already. Just say you think you know me." But she does. But I swear to God, it's exactly like it. So thanks,
You
Dallas.
think you know who you are, what's to come. You haven't even begun. That's the line. It's spoken twice in this episode. You'll hear it again in the premiere of season 5. It's important.
Yeah, I assume it is. And
And
Joyce,
then when she leaves the room, Tara says, "Be back before dawn."
yeah, I don't
I
know.
get that.
Yeah.
Uh, Joyce is in a hole in the wall.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on there.
I think that's the house she's house sitting. Like, isn't that the meaning? Like,
Yeah, she's trapped within the walls of the
there's a
house
little
that she's
mouse that's
confined in.
playing with, yeah, there's a little mouse playing with her knees.
I don't understand. Like Tom and
That's what
Jerry?
she that's what she said. She's like, "Oh, there's a
Oh,
little mouse playing with my knees."
oh,
Yeah.
I guess so. That was Xander in there probably playing with her knees. Being a weirdo. Uh, so anyway, so Riley is at a table. He's like, "We're planning world domination," and then cut to Adam without his face paint. He's like, "Yeah, that'll be fun." They're a
I like
team.
this. This is one of my favorite shots that Joss Whedon ever put in
The
anything.
Riley thing with the
Yeah,
gun.
the gun through the glass table. I
That
love
was
that
pretty
moment.
sick. Yeah, I like that too. Uh, yeah, good call. And Buffy, there's like she opens a bag to get a gun out, but then it's like cement, and then she starts putting it on her face.
It's mud. But yeah, the bag comes into play in season 7.
I swear to God, I thought that was cement because of the last episode when they said we're gonna fill it with concrete. I thought that was the concrete from the
Oh
initiative.
right, no, no, no. This is supposed to be like primal from the earth,
Oh,
and
should have looked more like mud then. I thought it clearly looked
I
like
thought it was
gray.
well, it didn't look like what he intended it to look like. Apparently, like he was unhappy with the shot of the mud, and so that's why it goes into that weird, like
Yeah,
negative.
oh yeah.
which is really
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. He was like, it needed to look cooler, so he did that.
Yeah, he
Good
did the
call.
weird inversion
Yeah.
technology early. Yeah, that was a negative film negative or whatever. That's funny.
And then Buffy finds that Slayer and they get in a big fight in the middle of the desert.
Yeah, and Tara is representing the voice of the first Slayer because she can't speak for herself.
Well,
Right.
I like
And we
how
couldn't
she's
get
also a
Angel.
liar because she can speak for herself because she says friends bad after or no friends or whatever, right?
No friends,
No
just
friends.
the kill. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, oh, I
And
thought you couldn't speak. That's why Tara's standing in the desert in a dress or whatever.
Well, it's sort of like you ever watch like a season of Celebrity Apprentice, and you've got Marley Matlin, and Marley Matlin always had that guy like who was her
David.
translator, but every so
His
often
name's
she would
David.
just yeah, he was great. And every so often she would just be like fuck it and just start talking, and then you'd see David just sort of standing there. That I thought about that.
I love David so much. I loved that, like, when Coda was nominated for the Oscars, David was there at the Oscars with
I think
Marley
you pointed
Matlin.
that out to me.
Yeah, obviously my favorite star of the Celebrity Apprentice, David, the deaf translator.
He's up there.
Yep.
All right.
so we beat the Slayer, right?
Yeah.
And then we all talk about how, oh my God, that dream, that was crazy. We all had battled the Slayer.
Well,
And
Buffy has a pretty great monologue,
Mm-hmm.
I thought, to the Slayer. Let me see if I can find it.
hey, Slayer, quit slaying. This is my territory. Get out of here. Something like that.
She's like, I'm more than just the kill. I shop, I live,
Yeah,
I do.
right. That's
Yeah,
exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that
And
was nice.
so it's like the whole thing is like the reason Buffy's alive now is she has friends, right? Xander
Yeah.
saved
I Here it
her.
is. I walk, I talk, I shop, I sneeze. I'm gonna be a fireman when the floods roll back. There's trees in the desert since you moved out, and I don't sleep on a bed of bones. I always loved that's really well
Mhm.
written.
Yeah, good stuff. And what
What shows do you like?
He likes
What
he
does impress you?
Dan, just hold on. He likes Buffy. It's just this is the first time he's ever seen the Dream episode, and it's like hard. It's
I'm
not
sure if I
an
had like
easy
10
episode.
years of like learning about what this stuff meant, then I would like it. I watched it like 15 hours ago and I didn't understand a lot of it. What do you want from me?
I don't know. I thought maybe you'd be like interested in
I
what we
am.
have
I
to
like
say
it.
about
He's
I love
listening.
Buffy. I'll be here for seasons 5 and 6, and I'll be here.
All right.
This is literally my
Okay.
favorite thing that we do. I would rather do this than wrestling. I'd rather do this than watch the Muppets. This is my favorite thing.
All right. I'm glad.
I love it. Um, So they're like, oh, the guy with cheese, that was weird, right? And then Joyce comes down and Xander's like, oh hey, Buffy's mom,
Yeah.
whatever. And then Buffy goes to shower. She's like, bye guys, I'm gonna leave you guys in my house. I'm gonna go take a shower. Enjoy yourselves. And then she hears that line that Tara said,
Yeah.
"You think you know me?" And then the episode
Christian.
ends.
On this day. All right.
Ah, see.
Uh,
Oh, okay. I thought we were all gonna do it.
Wait,
uh,
is that the theme song of AEW star Edge or Adam
are you?
Copeland?
Excuse me. Are you talking about the rated R superstar Adam Copeland?
Even I knew
Yes.
that.
Yeah.
MVP time. Oh, star rating. I'll go 4. I assume you're gonna go 5.
They re-recorded You Think You Know Me though. It's now Beth Phoenix saying it.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Are they married?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Why'd they do that? I hate that.
Why'd they get married? I think they're
Because
in
they
love.
because
why'd they re-record
WWE held on to the rights to as much as possible.
Good job by them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah.
that.
He only got rated R superstar is because WWE didn't copyright that.
Yeah,
he
and they were able
copyrighted
to
it.
get the song because it was a song before WWE got a hold of it. Anyone can license it.
He just added the "You think you know me" part.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. But they couldn't take like John Cena's music because that's wholly original, right?
Exactly. No one could
Wow,
use that. Yeah.
that's really cool.
And that's why they all have pretty generic music right now, because they only allow them to use music created.
That's been fixed a little bit though. They've got better guys working on it. I feel like in the last year or two, the entrance music has gotten better.
Yeah, but who's like the best newer person with a good song in the WWE? There's
Finn
like
Balor.
nobody.
He's not new.
That's
New
not
in the
new
last
at all. That's
8
from
years.
the good era when they all had Shinsuke's music
Oh, that's good.
Grayson
Yeah.
Waller. Grayson Waller's got good entrance
That sounds
music.
like a country music singer.
He's a British talk
My name's
show host.
Grayson
He's
He's
kind
an
of like the
Australian talk show host.
oh,
sir.
sorry. He's kind of like the new Miz.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
Mhm.
He's on the road rules over there. Real, whatever it was.
That was good.
All right. Anyway,
Honestly,
so
that was good. I wanted to
star
hate
rating,
it,
I
but
go
it was good.
4. You guys are going 5s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very polite of you to give this a 4, Logan. I appreciate it.
No problem. In my MVP, I'm going to go with Xander. My friend Xander Harris.
Casting the spell.
Even though you hated his best joke of the episode.
Yeah.
Which was what? What was the best joke?
Doing spells
jacking
by
off.
myself. Yeah.
Oh, whatever. Yeah.
The MVP. Well,
His
it's
stuff
really
with Joyce was way funnier.
Yeah, that's good. The MVP is Joss Whedon, really. But if we're gonna go with the cast, I'm gonna go Geller. I think Sarah Michelle.
That's
Love it.
good. I'm gonna go with Stuart Anthony Head. I'll go with Giles. I think he's good in this one.
That was on purpose, right?
Yeah, well, you said Geller, so
No, you said his name backwards.
I did. I'm dyslexic.
Yeah,
So
Stuart
is it
Anthony Head.
Stewart?
Yeah.
Yes.
All
Yeah.
right.
LVP. I think I'm gonna go Oz.
Ooh,
Don't want to go
poor Oz.
Anya. Don't want to go Harmony. Don't want to go Riley. Don't want to go Adam.
I love
Don't wanna go
the
Olivia.
the play stuff. The Riley on stage when he goes, "I'm looking for a man."
Riley's really funny this episode.
Salesman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
He's
really
good in the moment where he's like, "I got here early, so I got to be cowboy guy."
All of his lines are really good. I thought.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's very funny.
Yeah.
I think Blucas, like, he's not amazing or anything, but he can do
He's
whatever
charming
they give
as hell,
him.
I think.
Yeah.
I really like him.
All right. No, this is a 5 for me. Oh,
who's
did
your
I not
LVP?
give an LVP?
LVP.
Sorry.
I said Oz.
Go with Olivia. I'm not sure what she was doing
Oh.
there.
Oh,
last
she's just a
one, come on.
reference. Come on.
All right. I guess like it's a bad look to give LVP the only black person on the entire show.
You just gave Richard Pryor the LVP on Muppets too.
That was
Holy-
warranted. I that was warranted. I think I made a good case for that.
Yeah.
And I love Richard Pryor. It was an isolated situation.
Can you wait? I haven't had a chance to listen to the Muppets yet, but can you guys give LVPs to a Muppet, or
Yes,
does it have to be a
absolutely.
human? Okay.
No, give me a
Absolutely.
Muppet.
All right.
How about I don't know, man. I like everyone in this episode.
Me too.
I'm gonna
It's
go
it.
with the Apocalypse Now fake actor guy.
Oh God.
Should have been someone famous. Should have
I'm
been
gonna,
Forrest.
I'll go Xander's dad because it's weird that it's not the same Xander's dad as later. Uh,
Okay.
I'll but in my ranking, you can throw this right there at number one.
That's wild. You're a maniac. Number one. Ahead of Hush, both Becomings, Innocence, Graduation Days.
That's right.
All right, fair enough. For me, my initial gut reaction, I think after we talked about it, it'll go a little higher. But embarrassingly enough, listen, we've had 78 episodes, and I my gut reaction was 54.
Great.
So, but I'm not gonna do that. I'll move it up to 35.
I mean, you weren't impressed with like the filmmaking. The level of
I
filmmaking
was.
going on in this episode is so much better than almost anything that was going on
I
TV.
like the one
You can
shot.
maybe point to like Oz and fucking Sopranos, and that's like it at this point.
I like the one shot of it's Riley right up close to the camera. Then it's Buffy like right beside Riley, like yelling at him. And then
That's
further back in
on
the
the stage.
background is Harmony. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Harmony's on the
crying on
couch,
that
like
like yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a great shot there.
Yeah,
Yeah, of course I loved
and
all the
she's doing
filmmaking
that
stuff.
whole monologue about, and she's dressed as a character from Chicago for no reason, and she's monologuing, and it ends with "at you men with your sales." It's
Oh,
so funny.
All the
thank you.
salesman lines are funny.
Thank you, Dan. The whole time I was trying to figure out who she was dressed as in Chicago, and
Yeah,
it's
she's
obviously
Catherine Zeta-Jones in
yeah,
Chicago.
obviously. For some reason I was like, is she dressed like the one woman in the movie Clue? Because she
Miss
kind of has
White.
this, yeah, she kind of looked like Miss White also.
Yeah.
At least the hair. So yeah.
I
Out of the
ended up
four
putting it.
episodes I've ranked,
Oh
oh,
yeah,
sorry, go ahead, Logan.
I put it
Finish
between
yours.
Anne and the Harsh Light of Day. But go ahead.
This is number one out of the four episodes I've covered on Buffy's Angels,
What were
Buffy.
the others?
Initiative.
Dead Man's Party, and what was the
I have initiative higher than this.
yeah, Initiative, and one more. I can't remember the other one that was next. What's next to Dead Man's Party, Dan? Do you know that off the top of your head?
Like the one right
Next to
after
it,
it.
Yeah, because we covered two episodes
Faith,
of
Hope, and
Buffy.
Trick. Well, it would have Dead Man's Party. It would have been Anne
The one
and Dead
before
Man's
it.
Party, I
It
would
was Anne.
assume.
It was Anne. I
Yeah,
covered Anne also, which
yeah.
so I think I would go
I have just three
uh
out of those four. That's wild.
yeah, three out of those
Anne.
four.
Yeah, I have Anne in the initiative ahead of it. Yeah.
What the
You
hell?
should be embarrassed to have Anne ahead of
I
this.
love Anne. Love it. All right, so there's any other notes on season 4 of Buffy as a whole?
No, I liked the conversation we had on it earlier. I think a lot of your thoughts on the overall season are actually right on. Like I kind of feel the same way. But yeah, I just obviously differ on this episode.
And it did have two of your favorite, like this one and Hush are two of your favorite episodes now, and they came from this season.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I say, like, to me, season 4 is some of the highest highs anywhere around, like in the history of television almost. But like but I would still rank it like probably third to last of all the seasons.
I always like to think, because this is what I sometimes I do, is I just go through and watch like two or three of my favorite episodes from each season rather than watching the whole season, since I've seen them so many times. And I would say that Hush and this are for sure two of the three that I watch every time.
What's
Wow.
the other one?
I probably this
Doppelgangland.
That's season 3.
Oh, I didn't know he said all from season 4.
Well, I mean, I said each season has like three.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I would probably
Superstar? That'd be a good one.
Oh, that is a fun one. I like the weird ones. I like the ones that are kind of like that. Yeah, I'll say soup. I probably, you know what? I probably usually watch
Or
the
the
one
Faith one.
before
The
this.
Faith two-parter.
Oh,
Yeah.
Faith. Oh yeah, Faith. Obviously, Faith.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Faith or Superstar would be good choices.
for sure.
But all right, so season 4 of Buffy.
Another one in the books, guys.
Yeah, and this will be on Hey I'm Watching Here. I just realized we'll get to
It
add these to
will,
our
yeah.
list. What was
All right.
better, season 4 of Buffy or season 1 of Angel?
Season four
I
of
have a
Buffy.
spoiler
That's the
alert. I have a
answer.
preference on which finale I liked more.
Oh
I
God.
know.
Oh no,
Oh no.
this guy loves Shanshu apparently.
By the way, last week I said, does that mean what? To live and die in LA? And guess what? I was right
He
on both
nailed it.
accounts.
He fucking nailed it. Yeah,
He
I know.
got
I
it.
didn't want to say anything at the time, but
It was to live and die in LA.
yeah.
Crushed
Um
it.
so I like this episode too. So I'm not gonna talk shit. Let's have fun talking about to Shanshu in LA.